and ideas expressed in this podcast are solely those of the authors and guests of the podcast. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to Soberless Thoughts.
I'm Mike Odenbeck,
I'm Alex Gorley.
and these are our.
Soberless Thoughts.
And tonight we are drinking something that is a bit of a scary fucking thing if it was a reality. We're drinking land sharks.
Land sharks.
Can you imagine? First of all, can you imagine if there was such a thing as land sharks?
Oh, I have. And they're called trimmers.
Dude, I think we would make them extinct.
Think so?
Yeah, man. If something was a predator, like an all-out fucking predator, like a shark is,
Yeah.
like a great white or some shit, and it's that big too, right? So like bigger than a fucking elephant, and it's got massive teeth on it, and it moves way faster than you are. Right?
Now, I gotta ask. I'm picturing this. Does it walk or does it like swim through?
It's a land shark, so I'm guessing it's got big, powerful fucking legs
Nice.
that can run like a motherfucker.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing.
Yeah.
It's got cheetah speed, powerful, strong. It's got like that. Its legs look like, you see like them, like lions. How it's just rippling, just muscle rippling.
Yep.
And but it's big. It's like the size of a freaking elephant, right? And
Mhm.
it's got this massive jaw with double layered giant teeth that in its whole head its whole jaw can detach, and it can just, it could eat you in one bite.
Yeah.
We would make those extinct.
That, or do you think we'd even get to where we are? Because that shit would have been around for a hot minute. Or do you think they'd make us extinct?
I don't know. I mean, now we're talking about maybe that's what dinosaurs were. Like
Yeah.
a T-Rex is pretty much like a land shark.
Is a land shark. So,
right?
yeah. That could be a t-shirt. We'll have a cartoony T-Rex with a shark fin, like backpack to his little arms on his back.
Yeah.
Land shark.
Land shark. Dude, it makes sense. It fits.
Yeah, it really does, actually.
All right, tell us about this drink.
So land shark, not to be confused with Sharknado. It's Margaritaville Brewing Company. Can you guess who owns Margaritaville Brewing Company?
I'm gonna say Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that too. Now the brewery is located in Jacksonville, Florida. But Land Shark is a lager. So this is what they call an island style lager. It is 4.6% alcohol. It is probably one of the best beach beers you can have. It's going to be up there with Corona and something else. I went blank. I'm like, God, what are those beers? Oh, I'd even throw Dos Equis up there. I mean, this is like a good, like, it's, I mean,
Like a Modelo Especial.
yes, it's definitely, lagers. I'm also sorry. I think this was either bottled or brewed in St. Louis, Missouri, right? Or Minnesota.
No, that's Missouri.
Missouri. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was sitting there. Well, it was the MO that I was looking at, like MO.
Yeah, Mike Odenbeck.
Yeah, Mike Odenbeck. You can find me in St. Louis. Yeah, so pretty standard lager, at least in my viewpoint. I think it's a little bit of a lighter lager. Like, it's not a light beer like a Bud Light, but it's lighter, it's smooth, easy drinkable. I had a couple 200-300 the other day.
Oh
because
yeah.
all I could find was a 12-pack of this stuff when I was buying it for the podcast. I was like, well, might as well see what these are about.
It's island style lager, it says.
Yeah.
Mm.
Which the Beer Advocate gave it a score of 62, which was, as they have underneath it, poor.
Oh, wow.
I mean, this is a bunch of beer snobs. You got to understand. It's ranked
Yeah.
405th. Let's see. The average is 2.63. The first review says, have you ever wondered if your liver and bladder work? This beer will answer that question. If Corona had a filthy second cousin, this would be it. This beer is drinkable, but that's about it. It's yellow, the end. That is the first review I found. Yeah.
Wow. Dude, what was the beer that we had that was like a 98 on that scale? Do you remember that? That was recently.
Yes, it was the Hefeweizen, the one your boy, because it's like, that's the epitome of like high-end beer kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. I guess this has a little bit of a bad rap because, like, the Margaritaville thing, it's definitely been corporatized, and I feel like it's more of a. I mean, it's like, I mean, they have Margaritaville restaurants, so it's very much like family friendly. Like, it's not your beer that you're like gonna, I don't know, like have an epiphany over. It's just,
dude, no, but it's a good backyard sitting on the riding lawnmower beer though.
Exactly. Like, I don't think there's any bad beers. I'm a beer drinker, but
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that statement.
Well, okay. I think it just depends on the setting. You got to find the right time, space, continuum for each beer.
Dude, there are most definitely bad beers out there.
There are. After I said that, I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm more forgiving on beer.
Yeah.
But there have been a couple on here that even I'm like, oh man, that was
yes,
kind of hard to choke down.
Something that's almost as scary as a land shark was the Fifth and Vine.
Yeah, that one was like that one was a little rough. I do remember, like, it just had a little funky taste. I was like, did we get a good batch? Is this a bad batch? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a corner you don't want to be on. Trust me.
Yeah.
You don't want to be there.
Yeah. Corner of I'll drink anything to what's the cheapest you got?
Oh, all right. We drinking these?
Yeah, let's give it a try.
Fins up.
I mean, it's like I said, it's light. It's not really crisp. It's like very lightly sweet. Little hints of malt, but it's just barely, like, it's,
yeah,
you got to search for it. If you don't think about it, you're just, oh man, this is when people are like, you ever like when you first started drinking, there was that one guy was like, oh man, I mean, beer's like water to me.
Right.
It's I felt like that dude was drinking like stuff like this.
He was drinking this shit.
Yeah, because it's like it's good, but it like I feel like I'm hydrating myself at the same time.
Right. You know what it tastes like to me?
What?
It tastes like if you were scuba diving, okay? Let's say there's a boat of scuba divers out in the ocean.
Yeah.
Guy goes down scuba diving, okay? He's down there for 30 minutes. He comes back up to the boat, but there's no fucking boat there. It's gone. And they forgot that he was in the water. And they left his ass in the fucking water, in the ocean, by himself. And now he's freaking the fuck out, right? Well, then the guy who's driving the boat is like, oh shit, we forgot one of the guys, and he jumps in, turns the boat back around. They go flying back out there, and they find him just in time before he gets eaten by a shark. And they pull him up into the boat, and the guy is like super thankful, and he opens up a beer and he drinks it. Well, that was the Hefeweizen that he was drinking. But the guy who was driving the boat is drinking a land shark.
Oh, that was great. Yeah, I was gonna say like it's good. It like, to go with your analogy, they were probably all drinking land sharks while they're like deep sea fishing or spear fishing, whatever the fuck they were doing. They're like, look, we don't want to get you hammered, but we want you to, like, be able to do this shit.
Right.
So you're gonna have to hold your breath for a minute and a half, and then someone's like, "Oh shit, I left my oven on. Let's drive away."
Exactly.
Let me ask you, what do you think is scarier? A shark tornado or the big ass worm from Tremors, the graboids?
Ooh. I'm gonna say the big ass worm, because that could be anywhere and you don't know. Dude, I got a gopher problem right now in my fucking backyard. And just imagining that thing being the size of the fucking worm, you know what I mean? Now I'm over here fucking stabbing into the ground with this big stick trying to get this motherfucker. Dude, I can't no. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I just watched Twister the other day with my wife and and Jack. It's the first time he's ever seen the movie Twister. Dude, tornadoes are fucking pieces of cake, man.
Yeah.
Especially if it's got sharks in it. Then you really know what you're aiming at, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'm not worried about a Sharknado.
Yeah. I feel like you can see those coming.
Oh yeah.
The graboids. I was always a big fan of those movies.
Dude, there's entire like fields of science dedicated to predicting when and where a tornado is going to hit.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody predicting where this fucking sand monster is jumping out at you. Nobody.
See, that when you said land shark the first time, that's what I was thinking of those things. I'm like, see, that would be it. And just like a shark, just come up from underneath, just grab you and pull you back down. Now I'm talking like the first couple movies. If you've seen those movies, whew, they get a little wild. I don't know if you've all right, I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna open up to this audience. I watched them all.
Oh yeah.
For whatever reason, they were all on Netflix, and I went from 1 to fucking either 5 or 6. I don't remember what it was, but there was like graboids go to Antarctica. Like it was just all over the place. It was like one's like in the Wild West, like like pre-story kind of thing, but it's all like a bunch of the same characters.
Somehow, however, it's their ancestors.
Yeah, pretty much. Then there's like one in, I don't remember where it was. It was in Africa, but I don't remember what country it was. But then it had like, I don't know, like not to ruin nothing for anybody. Spoiler alert. Fast forward the next 5 seconds, but they start to find different, like, I don't know, like they either start to evolve or they start to like find different types, like different breeds. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the ones over here were like golden retrievers, and the ones like, the ones in Antarctica were huskies, and the one in Africa was like some crazy what was that dog? Damn it. The Razorback. It was like the Razorback. I don't know if you ever seen that dog. it's a dog that literally has like a mohawk down its back, and it's actually extra skin and stuff. And people used to breed them to like get a pack of them to hunt lions.
What?
And that extra skin was in case the lion would bite down on their back, and they would just bite extra skin on not actually crush the dog's like vertebrae or actually kill it.
What kind of dog is this?
It's something Razorback. Let me Google this real quick. Yeah, it was the most like badass dog ever. That and the one that looks like the Egyptian, like the jackal. I always thought that looked cool.
The hyenas?
Ridgeback. I don't know why I said
Ridgeback?
Razorback. The Rhodesian Ridgeback. It is a medium-large dog originally bred in South Africa to hunt large game, including lions.
Jesus.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was wild.
Yeah. Google search image that, audience.
Yeah.
Do you want one of those? Could you handle one of those?
I don't know. I feel like everything I'm looking at is giving me like weird things. They look like a normal dog, but they just have that like mohawk going down the back with like extra skin.
They're like a chupacabra.
I feel like I feel like they're like the, like pit bulls are pretty much an American thing. I feel like they're like the pit bulls from back in the day.
Are they like super muscular like that?
No, they're not. I feel like a pit bull could take down a Ridgeback, but you never know. You never know. I'm probably talking shit I don't know anything about.
There's a cat. I think it's called like a Tatanka or something like that. And dude, these things get huge, and they're like super muscular too, but they're house cats. And like they got short hair. They don't shed any fur or anything like that, but they're loud. So supposedly they're talkers, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Like in their cat profile, but they're like the biggest, most like muscular cats. And they're like the pit bulls of house cats.
Are they like the ones that are like long as shit?
Yeah, they're long. They're big.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like a buddy of mine had one of those, or like an offshoot of it, because he had like the biggest damn cat I'd ever seen in my life. And I don't mean fat. I'd seen a fat cat before.
Yeah.
Like, as actually a different buddy had one. They called it fatness because it was so fat. Like its stomach was touching the ground while it walked, kind of thing, right? It was not like this. This thing was like it was like the length of half of him. Like he would hold it up and it was just like,
yeah. But was it like muscular too?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like these things, like you can see like the muscles ripping in its arms and shit while it's walking, like, and they'll like just go on an onslaught murdering like squirrels and birds and all kinds of shit if you let them outside.
Yeah.
Like your neighborhood will be empty of fucking rodents. This thing.
I don't know why. I was telling my dad this today. I feel like I've mentioned this on here before, but holy crap. I just found a beer from one of the last times we did the podcast here, and it's been sitting on this little thing underneath this table for
this whole time.
This whole time. Anyway, and it's empty good. So I heard or read or whatever that if a cat like brings you a dead animal, like a lot of people are like thinking it's like presenting it to them. Somebody told me it's like they think that you can't provide for yourself.
Yeah, so they're trying to feed you.
They're trying to feed us. Yeah. And I'm like, that is, to me, it's like, that's such a cat thing. Like, oh, you dumb ass human. You can't do shit.
Oh, yeah.
Here, let me go get this for you.
Dude, cats think that we're fucking idiots, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They 100%. But that's the difference between cats and dogs. Is a dog is a man's pet.
Yeah.
But cats believe that you are their pet.
Oh yeah.
Like that's how they exist.
Yeah.
Like, do what the fuck I say when I say I want it, or I'm gonna fuck your shit up.
Yeah, pretty much. Just like pet me, not like that. And like
Yeah.
that's always my favorite.
Feed me now, or I will piss on your shit.
Oh yeah. My I can't remember if I've talked about this on or not, but my dad had a cat named Bert. And it was like a year into having this cat that he found out it was a girl. And he still called it Bert.
Yeah.
So it was a cat named Bert. And my parents have told me the story once or twice, but I guess like it was in the early years of my parents dating. Bert hated my mom. And every time she would walk by, like by a couch or something, that cat would reach out and like snag her, like, gotcha. And my mom was like, yeah, I stopped wearing pantyhose over at your dad's house because that cat would just get a hold of it and rip it.
Oh my God.
So one day, my dad was doing like, he was doing construction and he was like, I had to leave town. My mom was like studying for like her nursing degree at the time. And she was like, hey, do you care if I just crash at your house and let me study? And I think she was going to have a girlfriend over and they were going to study. And then she was just going to crash there. And he was like, yeah, whatever. I'm not going to be there. So they're there with Bert. And then her friend leaves and mom's like, all right, well, I'm going to go to bed. She goes in there to go to sleep on my dad's bed, but she doesn't let Bert in the room because she's like, I don't trust that cat while I'm sleeping. I'm afraid that cat's going to like wake me up. It's going to, do something. So my mom shuts the cat out, goes to bed, wakes up the next day, opens the door, and that cat has shit right in front of the door. As like hey, fuck you.
Right. Yeah. This is my house.
Yeah. I don't know who the hell thought you ran this, but it is not.
Yeah.
Now you gonna pick it up and you gonna like it.
Enjoy that shit.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna grab me a beer.
Beer. I'm grabbing me a beer. He's grabbing him a beer. He is grabbing out of the fridge, so he's getting a beer. Land shark. Do. Beer chug. Do. Beer chug. Do.
All right, Alex.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something that happened to me the other day.
Yeah.
I had a Mandela effect
Ooh.
happen to me like in real time.
Nice.
Like, okay, so here's what happened. I go out with Eddie Cupid and Grandpa Banks. Okay.
Nice. Yep.
And we go to this bar. And I'm sitting down at this table and they're like still walking from the bar area over to where the table is. And I see Christian stop and talk to this girl. And he's like having like a short conversation with her, like 2 or 3 minutes, a conversation with her where they clearly know each other.
Yeah.
And then he goes back up to the bar where Eddie's at. And a girl comes over and sits at the table next to the table that I'm at, where there's a whole nother group of people. And she basically says, oh yeah, that's my buddy Christian. Says something about riding motorcycles or whatever. Like, because they're like, who's that?
Yeah.
So then Eddie and Christian come over and sit down at the table. And I'm like, Christian, who's that girl that you're just talking to? And he's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, the chick in the red pants at that table right next to us that you were just having a conversation with.
Yeah.
Who's that? He's like, dude, like she literally just walked by me and I said, excuse me. I'm
Okay.
like, no, you had like a 5-minute conversation with her, and then she came back to the table and told her friends who you were.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I literally walked past her, said, excuse me, and she went and sat down, and I went and got Eddie.
Oh, there's
And
a
I look-
glitch in the matrix.
I look at Eddie and I'm like, dude, like, what the, are you guys fucking with me? Like, he seriously had a comment, and Eddie's like, no, dude, like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, he did what he just said. Like, he said, excuse me, and they walked past each other. Like,
Yeah.
dude. So, one, either a Mandela effect happened in real time,
Yeah. No.
or two, I'm starting to mentally break.
No, I think, like I said, I think there's a glitch in the matrix. It hadn't gotten there yet. Like maybe she was farther along in the timeline than he was, and he hadn't actually had that conversation yet. Or he was just like, no, I don't want to explain where I know this girl from, who she is.
But Eddie said the same thing. And he wouldn't lie for Christian.
True.
So like I don't know. So it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I don't understand how I see something, and I mean for minutes, for like a solid 3, 4 to 5 minutes, they're having this conversation while Eddie's standing at the bar.
Yeah.
And I'm watching. And they're like just gabbing away like they know each other. And then she comes over and I hear her say to her friends, oh yeah, that's my buddy Christian, something about him riding bikes and da. And then apparently none of that actually happened.
What if she did say that and she did know him, but he didn't recognize her?
Then how do you explain the multi-minute conversation I saw them have?
That I can't explain.
That didn't happen actually.
Yeah.
But I can see what you're saying. Had they really just walked by each other and he said, excuse me, she said, excuse me, whatever. And then she went over and sat down like, oh, I actually know that guy. It's so-and-so, da.
Yeah.
But he didn't recognize her. I could see that. But that's not what I saw.
Yeah, there was a time slip.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really hard to black out drinking for just a couple minutes and come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I have yet to master it.
That's why I'm curious as to whether or not maybe I had a mental break.
Yeah.
Maybe I just had a mental break.
Maybe you just went into a fantasy world and you're like, yeah, Christian knows her, and then he's doing this, and
I hadn't even had that much to drink yet in the night. Like I drank a Bud Light before I left the house, and 2 Jack and Cokes while I was eating dinner, and then we left that bar and went to the second bar, and it was when we first got to the second bar, so I hadn't even started drinking my beer at the second bar yet when this happened.
I gotta ask, what's it like to be at a bar?
Dude, it's amazing.
It's been so long.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
I say that, but then at the same time, I'm like, I'm an old married guy now. Like,
I know, right?
Like, it wasn't okay. So both them guys are single, so they don't mind like going out and partying and doing all that kind of shit. I'm like it's just not my scene anymore.
No, I get it. I was actually trying to place myself with you all in that setting. Like, what the fuck, man? Would I just be hanging there, just eyeballing people and like, look at this asshole over here? They're just like sitting there as I do sometimes and just like making fun of people in my head.
Yeah.
And drinking.
That's exactly what I did the entire night.
I'm like, oh, buddy, you need to stop hitting on that girl. She is not feeling it. Oh, look at this guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, I sat there people watching the entire night, just like you said, I wish I had somebody that I could sit and, dude, we need to go out and just make fun of
Yeah.
people.
It sounds like, yeah, we'll tag team. But also, I'm also one of those guys that will definitely be a married wingman in the sense that I will, like, How I Met Your Mother. You know how they always play that game, Have You Met Ted? You know what I'm
Dude,
talking
I've
about?
never watched that show.
All right, so that is actually one of the most brilliant parts of it, where what it is one of the guys will, like, he's like talking to this guy Ted, who's a little bit more bashful, but they're like, "Hey, let's play a game. Let's play Have You Met Ted?" And then they're like, "Oh," he goes, "Oh man, I don't want to play that." And all of a sudden, he'll just tap some girl on the shoulder, goes, "Hey, what's your name? Yeah, hey, have you met Ted?" And then he'll introduce him, and then he'll just walk away. And then Ted's left there talking to whoever. And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that's perfect."
Yeah.
Like that is like, I can fill those shoes. Like I will totally walk up to a group of people because I have nothing to lose.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like it does not bother me. I'll say whatever you need me to say. Like, "Oh yeah, have you met my buddy who's a lion tamer and an astronaut over here? It's
Right.
crazy." Yeah.
Dude, I did that even when I was single.
I was never much for I don't want to say fibbing, but stretching the truth. I was not a good salesman, let me put it that way, because I would just tell things as they are, and every time they're like, "Ooh, that's it," and they just like walk away. But my buddy, who was like a master, I mean, he was kind of like a I don't know, I don't want to say a habitual liar, but he could just definitely make bullshit up,
Yeah.
and then he would rope me into it as well. Like there was one night where he told, out of nowhere, we're talking to these girls, and he decides to tell them that we are half brothers from Ireland, and he's doing it with an Irish accent.
Oh
And he
shit.
turns and looks at me, and he goes, "Now you talk, bitch." And then I'm like, "Yeah, we're brothers from Ireland. It's and the only thing that makes it, like, he did that way too much, right? Because
Yeah.
the first night we did it, it kind of worked, and he got this girl's number, right? Which I'm like, "Are you just gonna be Irish for the rest of your life?" Like what? He's like, "No, I mean, if something happens, whatever." Well, he would do it as like just a fun game, until he actually started getting like a real job, right? And like he had like a marketing degree, and he did all this and that, and he had like an amazing resume, that kind of thing. So he had this job where he actually had to hire subordinates, and he was only like 24, 25, whatever, supervisor, manager, that kind of thing. And he goes, I interviewed this girl to be like a secretary, and she goes, "Hey, you remember me?" And he's like, "No." He's like, I'm da da da. It's like, we met at Shamrocks, was the bar we were going to. And she was like, "Yeah, I met you and your Irish brother." And he was like,
Oh my
"Oh
gosh.
shit!" Like he came home, was like, "Dude, we got to stop doing that," because she was like, "What happened to your accent?" He goes, "Oh, well, sometimes, I was like, in business settings, I try to focus on not having the accent or some kind of horse shit." He's like, "I just try to sound more American, so I sit here and do this. And then when I get drinking, it starts coming out more." Like he said that. And I was like, after that, we were like, "All right, it's no more, because this shit's going to catch up sooner or later."
And she believed him?
I don't know, but he didn't hire her.
Yeah, he didn't hire her.
There was no way after that. He goes, "I
No.
don't need that floating around the office."
Right. Oh, well, dude, I was thinking if like, let's say I did have a mental break. If
Okay.
if somebody had a mental break, how do you know that you're having a mental break? Or can you even know? Is it even possible for you to know?
Oh man, that's a tough one. Because part of me wants to say yes, you could tell for so much of it. It depends how much like if you're anxious or feeling all sorts of crazy ways, you might be able to self-recognize that something's not right and something's going on. But at the same time, there's always that thing that looms over top of this whole conversation that crazy people don't know they're crazy.
Right. Right.
So
That's what I'm thinking. Like
Yeah.
if I became crazy, I wouldn't think that I'm crazy.
yeah.
I would just assume that everybody else is fucking up. or
Yeah.
or everybody else is like is just not believing me for whatever reason.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, no, man, this really happened. Like, you really had a 5-minute long conversation with that girl, you know,
Oh, he did.
or whatever it was. Like, this is happening, and you can't tell me any different because I'm living it. Like, I see it. I'm experiencing this in real time. You can't tell me any different than that.
Yeah.
But everybody around who's observing you is like looking at you like you're fucking crazy.
Yeah. 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 When you're the person like out in the middle of the highway screaming like I don't know, man. Just if you're just screaming just wild shits, talking about like the government done took my baby, and you're like, what is going on? Like, dude, you don't even have any kids, and be like, I don't know, but like,
Speaking of
But-
that, do you think every time you come not inside of a woman, it's a sacrifice to a demon?
I mean, I hope not.
You think?
Man, that took me off guard. That really took me off guard. I mean, no, because that just in my teenage years, I would have made a lot.
So hear me out though, like, because back in the day, they used to sacrifice life to demon deities, right? Like that was what they did.
Are you talking like Aztecs, Mayans kind of thing,
Yeah,
where like they
yeah.
would sacrifice virgins or like people to different, like the sun deity or the snake deity, that kind of stuff?
Yes.
So
Now, these gods didn't go away. The deities that are asking for these sacrifices are still there. They're immortal, right? Well, they're still getting those sacrifices, maybe, through ejaculation that's not being, directed into the vaginal cavity for the purpose of childbirth.
well,
or maybe even abortion too.
Yeah.
Could be part of the whole ritual, instead of having a big slab of concrete that you throw a baby on to hatch it and
Fuck.
right?
Oh yeah.
Because they go into the furnace and they get flamed just like they did back in the day. They would burn them, right?
Yeah.
Like they do at the Bohemian Grove.
Bohemian Grove.
Yeah, man. We're going, yeah, dude. We're getting all up in it tonight.
I was gonna say, like, well, let me break down what you first said. First, like, so you're saying only men can sacrifice semen, essentially.
Well, yeah, that's why they call it the seed.
It sounds like the laziest worshiper. Like, man, I don't want to like sacrifice people. Like, how about I
Right.
just jerk off a couple extra times a week?
Right. These could have been kids.
They could have been.
They could have been kids.
They're all yours.
Right. I
I'll
could have had a whole litter with that shot.
I'll put it in the sacrificial sock.
Yes.
Um.
Mm.
Oh Lord. But yeah, the other part I'm like, God damn. I mean, I guess I know that I guess it depends on the deity. Because like I remember hearing about some of that. It was like there was like a blood sacrifice, and then there's some that, and actually one of the most what is it? I just read this the other day. Like the most well preserved mummified person to ever be found is like a 15-year-old girl from South America or Central America that was supposed to be sacrificed, and they sent her up in the mountains, and essentially she froze to death in a cave. They found her years later, obviously.
Yeah.
But the cold and the climate and the altitude, I think, like preserved her like almost perfectly.
Wow.
But they were talking about like, yeah, they think that because she didn't have anything, they thought like maybe like they just like, nope, go up there. Because there's also been I mean, I looked into this and like the Aztec Mayans kind of thing. I can't remember which one. Maybe it was the Aztecs, but they worship a sun god. I think they worship like a snake one, and there was something else where basically they had all these is an aquifer that was like basically big giant wells underneath the area they lived that would just fill up full of water.
Yeah.
And they like once for whatever reason there was a drought and the water levels kept going down, so they just kept sending people down into it. Oh, they thought it was the underworld. That's what it was. I think it was the snake deity. So they kept sending people down there essentially to sacrifice themselves. And like historians and archaeologists, stuff like that, like went back to these aquifers, put on some scuba gear, went down there, and they're still down there.
Oh wow.
Where they found like pots and like whole like way further down than what they thought. Like it must have been like an intense drought. But I don't know. It was just kind of one of those crazy things talking about the ritualistic part of it, at least.
Did you know that the world's oldest Buddha statue, they took an x-ray of it and there's a skeleton inside of it?
Yeah, that was crazy.
How fucked up is that?
I mean, dude, it's kind of awesome. Like like it's like a monk or something like that was like encased in it.
That they think, yeah.
I think they even think he went in there alive.
Man, it was probably self-sacrificial.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He's
like, I'm gonna go into this meditative state. Okay, pour the gold over me.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Dude, I can't even imagine. You think he looked like the Buddha? Like he was big and fat like that?
No, that Buddha was like skinny. It wasn't like fat
right.
Buddha.
Yeah, fat Buddha didn't come till later.
Did I mention this on here? I might have told somebody the other day. I've just found out that, you know how like I think skinny Buddha has like, it almost looks like he has curls or like some kind of like knobby thing all over his head. You know what those are?
What?
Snails.
Snails? What?
It's like 128 snails that are like feeding off whatever the fuck's on top of his head.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. And that's why like a lot of them have that like knobby, like almost like he has a helmet on.
And it's supposed to be snails.
Yeah, I'm gonna double check, just make sure I'm correct. 108 dried snails on Buddha's head.
As a hat, it's his hat. They're dried snails, so it's a hat.
So why does Buddha? So I googled it, and this I got. Why does Buddha have snails on his head? When evening fell and Buddha stood, noticing his surroundings once more, he found he was wearing 108 snails, all of whom had given their lives to further Buddha's path of enlightenment. These snails are now honored as martyrs and are shown on many statues of the Buddha to remind us of their sacrifice.
How much knowledge does a snail have?
Huh. I can tell you something real weird about snails.
Okay.
More. First of all, brain wise, I don't know. Maybe collectively they could have it, but there was this guy that I worked with who had an obsession with animal penises.
As you should. As you should.
Dude, it was the best way I could describe it. Like he flat out told me he did. He goes, I don't know what it is, man. If they're weird, I kind of want to learn more.
Yeah.
So one of them was, I can't remember. I don't know if it's every snail or this snail or what, but there was one that the penis comes out of the forehead in like a corkscrew, and they jam it into the other snail. Or even, I think maybe both snails have it, and they jam it into each other's fucking faces. And then
Holy
they
shit.
break it off.
And that's how they mate?
Yeah, and then like that, I think that's how they literally impregnate each other.
Wow.
Maybe. Like I said, he had a lot of interesting facts about a lot of interesting animal parts.
Dude, I still think that humans are an invasive species.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like from another planet.
Yeah.
Invasive species that we don't belong in this ecosystem.
Yeah.
Like look at us compared to the rest of the shit on this planet.
Yeah.
Clearly we don't belong here.
I mean, not lying. We're not like very like, I don't know. We just don't fit. We're not content with what's going on.
But not only that, like how can we have evolved to what we have? Supposedly we've evolved from shrews. Okay. That's the ongoing theory now with scientists, is that human beings evolved from shrews. Now, there's Tony what the scientists say.
Yeah. Well, I was actually sitting there going, what the fuck is a shrew?
It's a little fucking rodent.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's what we've evolved from. Why aren't there other mammals or anything for that matter on this planet, no other animals that have evolved even close to the amount that we have evolved to?
The humanoid side of things.
Like, it's just anything. Just like shrews can't fucking talk like we can talk.
Yeah.
You know? Or if they do it in a different animal language that we don't understand.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't make any sense. Humans don't make any sense for this planet because nothing else, literally nothing else, has evolved the way that we have evolved. So I don't believe in the whole evolution theory.
you believe everyone else's evolution. You're like, we were dropped here.
It just doesn't make any sense. We can't get from a shrew to what we are now in the amount of time that other animals have been around since the shrew time and are still around and still look the same as they did then.
Yeah.
Like, how did they not evolve? How did the fucking crocodiles not evolve?
Well, crocodiles and great white sharks didn't have to.
What? But they could have.
They could have, but they did. That's the thing. Like, evolution isn't picky. It's just if you're eating, you are good.
Okay, so shrews still exist.
I mean, it's true. Well, it's like, you know how they say like dinosaurs, like the closest living relative of like a Tyrannosaurus Rex is like a chicken.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's like it makes me wonder if, like, I'm gonna get all X-Men on you, but like if something happened to force evolution, radioactive fucking asteroid or something.
Yeah.
Meteor Man. I don't know if you even know what movie I'm talking about. Kind of shit going on.
Dude, so you think we're all mutants?
Well, I mean, that's what evolution is anyway. We're all mutated versions of something else.
Right.
Because, like, which, hey, I remember seeing this. George. Why did I like George? Is not what I was about to go. Unless, oh my God, I too many beers in. DeGrasse Tyson.
Neil.
Why did I call him George?
I don't know.
Where the fuck did George come from? Hey Georgie. Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? I remember reading that, or listening to like an interview, and he goes, "Well, what did he say? I think did he say the egg came first? I think he said the egg came first because something laid an egg that we would not define as a chicken, but the thing it laid is what we would define as a chicken."
Right.
Because of mutation and evolution.
Right. And you know, things have been laying eggs long before chickens have ever existed.
Yeah. But
yeah, I see what you're saying. Like it evolves.
yeah.
Like how we a good example of that is how we breed different dogs. Right?
Oh yeah.
So we've got breeds of dogs now that exist that never existed before because we specifically bred and crossbred and crossbred different shit into different things to make them specific designer dogs, if you will.
And none of them would survive in the wilderness.
Not one, not a single one. That fucking Labradoodle's getting ate by a fucking hawk.
Oh yeah.
Or a coyote.
Yeah. Oh, dude, yeah. Coyotes are the crackheads of the animal kingdom, and they will tear up a little chihuahua or whatever the hell it is.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, dude. So the local baseball field, like at there's this big park over by where I work, and they have this great big baseball field, like super nice baseball field, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have decoy coyotes set up in the outfield. Have you ever heard of such a thing?
Decoy coyotes.
Like fake coyotes. They're plastic and they're like in the ground, like they're staked into the ground. But like from a distance, it looks like there's 3 coyotes just chilling in the outfield out there.
I mean, are they trying to keep out groundhogs and shit like that? Because that would do it.
You think it would?
Oh, dude, yeah. Coyote would eat anything it can find. If it's like, you know, they're pretty slender kind of animals. I mean,
So is that how I take care of the groundhog in my backyard? I put a decoy coyote out there.
or a real one, whichever one you can get your hands on.
Shit.
I mean, hell, even my dog, which is not like the most aggressive dog ever or anything like that, but she will hunt small animals, and a groundhog she will try to fuck up. In our father-in-law's yard, I sat there and watched her one day, and she would go to those little groundhog holes, or feel that where it's like the ground is leveled, and all of a sudden there's that little bump, and it makes like a little whatever little trail. She was like walking it, and then she like felt it, and then she started to like push on it, and then all of a sudden start jumping on it, and then like dove her nose into the ground,
Holy shit.
trying to grab whatever the hell it was.
And she's not trained for that.
No.
That's just instinct.
Yeah.
How does she just know that? It's just embedded in her.
See, now that's one thing we gotta talk about. That actually goes to your argument. Everything else has a distinct, innate ability to know to do things.
Yeah.
We don't know shit
Yeah, we do.
until someone tells us.
No, we do.
Yeah.
It's called lying.
Yeah.
Because I got a toddler in my house right now who's a fucking expert liar. And nobody taught him that. Nobody
Yeah.
taught him that.
Yeah.
Saying
Yeah.
that's the human instinct.
Yeah. Push that shit on someone else.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh. All right, buddy. It's about that time.
It is about that time.
So,
Yeah.
if you want to find Soberless Thoughts, what you need to do is if you are engaged in social media, which who isn't nowadays?
I mean, for real.
Right. You need to get on Facebook and Instagram at Soberless Thoughts. That's where you'll find our shit. And if you go to Twitter, you can search for Think Soberless or just search Soberless Thoughts and look for our little logo there, and it'll be us. And what else, Alex? God, there's just so many places we are. Soberlessthoughts.com.
Yep.
Let's see. You can email us at soberlessthoughts@gmail.com.
Yeah. You can find all the podcasts on All Things Podcasts, like iTunes, Google Play, Spotify.
Yeah. Ghana, Twitcher or Titter or Fitter or Titty Twister or
Yeah.
what's the name of that? Twitch? Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Twitch.
We have a Twitch stream?
I think we're on Twitch.
Shut up. For real?
I think so.
All right. Whatever.
I don't know.
I mean, we should start a gaming Twitch. I'm just saying. It would be funny.
I think we're a content provider on Twitch.
I'm gonna have to look that up. And then I've been dicking around today with a little bit of TikTok. It ain't there yet, but it might be coming soon. So
and if you want to see the uncut, unedited versions of these podcasts in video format, you can do that on YouTube.
Yes, you can, Mike. Oh, fuck.
Did it go down the wrong pipe, buddy?
Oh yeah, it was good. Land shark, jump ship.
God damn.
But yeah,
Oh, and if you were searching for music, the music that we play on the podcast on Spotify, it no longer exists. So don't look for that
Oh.
anymore. If you search for Soberless Thoughts on Spotify, you will find the podcast and only the podcast.
Sorry. Wah, 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 wah.
Because apparently Mike Odenbeck doesn't want to get sued.
Yeah. Yeah, suing's not fun for anybody.
Dude, I mean, you see this refrigerator behind me?
Yeah. You got
That's-
money.
That's what they're going to come take.
Yeah. No, I know. We can't have that.
We can't have people taking my garage fridge beer money.
Yeah. We need to fill that shit up.
Dude, you haven't seen my beer. When are you coming over to my house?
Mother's Day ish?
Are you?
Yeah, we were just talking about that today. 'Cause apparently
Alright.
she needs to, speaking of the wife, she needs to paint something for you all.
I don't know if that's going to happen now.
Oh, well, whatever. It'll give us a reason to come over.
Yeah. Well, I built a table for my back deck. This is great content for the listener. I
Yeah.
built a table for my back deck for my house.
Yeah.
I built it myself. And it is now completed. Like the construction is done. But I'm not 100% sure on how I'm going to do the top of the table. Like as far as like stain / paint / mix of stain and paint, make it like a rustic look, something like that. I originally wanted your wife to paint like the Odenbeck family real big across the top of it, which would be super cool. But I guess I would have to stain it first, and then she would have to do the paint over top of that,
Then like clear coat it.
and then we'd have to clear coat it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes sense. Maybe I'll do that.
Yeah.
No, we'll see what happens.
All right. Fuck it. Let's see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, because I said all of that on the podcast, we'll put a picture of it on Instagram or something
Yeah, right.
when it's done, weeks from now.
Yeah.
Alex, what do we say when we get out of here?
We like to say, if you're in the skillet, you need to stay cheesy, keep it greasy, and flip on out.